Nah.
Did you
Woke
buy
up this
anything?
morning. I worked from bed most of the day.
Did you?
Yeah.
We are live, by the way, so how your work's not listening.
Oh, it might be.
As long as you was working, that's fine.
Oh, very hard.
Yeah. Clicking them buttons, moving the mouse.
Yeah, correct. Make sure Teams doesn't go to away. You're
Correct.
laughing.
No, you see, there's an app called Move Mouse. That's
Oh,
what
is
you
there?
want. Yes. Momentarily keeps moving your mouse every minute or two, so it never goes to screensaver.
This technology
Giving
doesn't
away, with trade secrets. Nobody's nobody listening from my work now.
Right, let's do it.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
On the edge of the box is Madden. Madden trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away. It's there! Oh my word! What a goal from Paddy Madden! The Irishman strikes again, and is that the goal that's going to send Stockport County back into the Football League?
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Scarf Bagara War. I think we're up to episode 53 this year, which is more than one a week, if I've done my sums correctly there. Plus, that's not including all the Courtyard Club calls and the Dave Smith Never Existed and any of the extra stuff we've done. So you are spoilt with us. Tonight, there's no Nick, but I am joined by Waggy and Dave. Waggy's at the... Have you got your names the right way round, you two? Is it...
You're practicing that one all day, have you?
Seen you, have they in the same place?
No, one of us is AI, but you've got to work out which one.
I like it. Yeah, how are you doing, boys? You okay?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good.
Good.
Excellent.
Happy... Yeah, good. Glad you're a County fan still.
Always.
Never leaves you, does it? Never leaves you.
Monday. It was the first Monday in ages where we lost at the weekend. I didn't know what to do with myself at work.
Yeah.
It was just a rubbish day.
Well, I can probably just slightly top that because I had to go to our Welsh office or our Welsh warehouse, which is in Wrexham. So I was spoken to at least 3 Wrexham fans, 2 that I'd never met before. They just went, "Are you that Stockport County fan?"
Yes. I like you saying that you were spoken to or spoken at. You weren't. Conversation.
I gave them all a good listening to because they went on about was Ryan Reynolds, Rob McElhenney, and what's the other one? Will Ferrell. That's all they went on about.
Yeah. Great. Oh yeah, that's. I mean, they've all been great on the pitch. I mean, they've all averaged 7 rating in FOTMOB this season.
So tonight, we're going to talk about the Newport defeat, the Salford draw. We're going to talk about our FA Cup on Saturday against Aldershot away. We're going to talk about the injuries. We're going to top those up if we can try and remember who's out injured, who's on the treatment table. And we'll have Get in the Res as well. And if we've got time, we'll do a bit of a quiz for Dave, which will be name as many players in a starting lineup from a year of your choice on this day. How about that? Feeling confident about that?
He's gone white
all day.
So yeah, that's what we'll do. So we'll kick off. In fact, no. Before we do that, let me just get through the admin. Please do subscribe to us if you're listening to this or watching this. Over 40% of viewers are not subscribed, so we could do with you doing that. That'd be great. If you do like what we do, please hit the subscribe button. We've still got Patreon, where you can find our ad-free episodes. We do the Courtyard Club call. Dave Smith Never Existed, and I am actually going to interview Steve Massey tomorrow. Hopefully with a tailwind, he'll join us. We failed last week, so that will be coming towards you over the weekend, hopefully. Got our Christmas do as well, so do message on Patreon if you want to come to our Christmas do at Stockport Gin and a Dave Smith Never Existed is on its way pretty soon. So there we go. That's the admin. So straight into Newport then. Newport, what happened?
They had 2 chances and scored 2 goals. We didn't.
Well, we didn't have 2 chances. I know we didn't
No, we
score
had
2
one.
goals. But...
Yeah, we have 6 or 7 chances on target and stuff like that. As I said, again, talked about in the club call, but basically every stat was
in our favour.
All us. But I mean, I watched it and we didn't look at the races properly. We just didn't look as if we were going to score. I didn't think we didn't. I don't know what it was. I mean, they pressed us quite high, which I think there's only Bolton that have done that to us previously. But you wouldn't have thought that we were a back 4 and they were a back 2, and that Bogle, whatever, he seemed to just play just behind the front 2, didn't he? And everything went through him and he dictated it for me.
Yeah.
Well, just don't think we were very good. Too many players were below par. I've never understood that saying below par, because below par is a good thing, isn't it? But
when you're playing golf,
yeah. But I think Powell got a lot of the grief, and I actually thought he was one of our better players, especially in the second half. Everything good in the first 20-25 minutes before I went off came through him. Will Collar didn't have the best game. Look, he deserved that. You know, he's got enough credit in the bank to have an off day. But too many players did have an off day. The first goal, stupid free kick to give away to start with.
Yeah.
And I can't believe in a man free on the edge of the box when they go there.
And nobody rushed him.
No, exactly. And I always do get a bit worried, not slating Ben, but that's the range where people do beat him from. But he did see that late. And the second goal, if you're going to lose a record, winning, you'll want to lose it with a goal like that, don't you?
It was what was on his weaker foot as well, wasn't it? Did you see
Was
it?
Was that
it was on his left foot. He's right-footed, but there was a guy, I think it was a Newport fan on Twitter, who put it, and he was filming from right behind him, and you seen the whip and everything on it. So, yeah, unfortunately, it was a very good goal. Yeah,
it's funny, isn't it? Because I know you discussed it on the Courtyard Club call, and I said it on Twitter as well. The stats say we were ahead of Newport in every department, but on the eye, just aesthetically, it didn't look good, and they were below par, weren't they? Charlie mentioned it in his post-match, didn't he? That they've not played that well for a few games or something.
He did say a couple of weeks, didn't he?
Yeah,
so mentioned Swindon and Colchester game, but we found a way to play and they found a way to win.
Yeah,
and again, he said it that in his post-match was that we knew exactly how they were going to play, and they played exactly as we thought they were going to play, but we didn't do anything about it. We didn't do what we were told, or we told them to do on the pitch. They just didn't. Yeah, as I said, I don't think there was anybody really. I mean, Powell and possibly South Wales that were close to a 7 or above a 7 for me. I think everybody else was well below that.
Yeah, we are talking about Newport, aren't we? Because that's like a replica of last night as well. And we'll come to Salford later on. But you're right. Yeah, South Wales he's not, his levels haven't dropped, have they? I don't think.
No. It's the amount of headers that he wins as well. I don't know where that's come from, because I say he's not the tallest player on the pitch, but whenever these long balls played out wide or anything, when he's up against a wing back or a winger or anything like that, it always seems to be him that's winning the headers, and he wins a few sort of from corners and things like that as well. It's unbelievable.
He's doing quality at the moment. I think if you look back when he went out injured last season, and then he came back at the start, you just thought, is he quality for League Two?
Yeah,
I questioned it, but since he's come back from this injury, I think this injury he spent a lot of it in the gym, didn't he? Bulked himself up, got stronger, and now he's keeping Noyle. I think he will keep Noyle out of the team, or out of that right back position anyway, if he carries on playing like this, which is applauded in itself.
Definitely. You thought, I mean, when Noyle came in and did such a brilliant job, it was like, well, how South Wales ever going to get back in the team?
Yeah.
And then we brought Richardson in as well for cover for Noyle. So you thought that was South Wales on his way out type of thing. But then, Noyle got injured. He's come in and he's undroppable, and he's got to be one of the first on the sheet, on the team sheet for me.
Yeah, and he's increased his his rigidness as well, isn't he? Or his robustness. He's gone from
Yeah, we
Pringles.
said he was made
to-
out of Pringles, but now he's a hobnob.
Now he's a hobnob. Yeah. Do we go? Are we going to increase that anymore, or is that? Is
Can
he
you
staying there
increase
for a
it? Can you go further than a hobnob? Because we upgraded him to McCoy's, didn't we? We went from Pringles to McCoy's.
bit? Oh, yeah, we have McCoy's in the middle. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we had McCoy's in the middle, and now we reckon he's made out of hobnobs. So,
Yeah.
is there anything? Can he go further?
Is there
than
a better biscuit than a hobnob, Dave? That's the question. These are the things we ask.
I would say not.
Chocolate
In terms of
hobnob.
robustness, now the chocolate melts, makes it go a bit soggy. I would go with a normal plain hobnob.
Excellent.
Official Southern Hales is a hobnob.
Stick that on a t-shirt.
Get that on a t-shirt.
Macaulay Southam hobnob.
Oh, you've just given me an idea. That's my weekend sorted, designing the t-shirt for that.
Oh, ginger nuts are well hard. I don't think they're the same quality as the
ginger nuts are well hard, aren't they? Yeah, they are well hard.
You can't be a ginger nut. He's not got the right colour hair, has he? Can't get him. He's got to stay as an hobnob.
No. It just makes me feel like we've missed a t-shirt opportunity. If John Nolan had stayed, he was pretty hard. When if he'd have been good for us as well, we could have had a t-shirt done. At the ginger nut, maybe. I don't know. Just before we continue, just show our appreciation. Lisa Braithwaite is in hospital apparently. Les's wife, and it's not looking good. So thoughts go out to Les and to Lisa about that.
Yep.
Again, we were only talking about Sue Corden, Irwin, Ian Duncan, which he got a nice round of applause last night. I think he did against Newport as well. And obviously Lisa's in hospital as well. So hope all goes well. Newport injuries then. I mean, we'll start off it now and we'll talk about it in more depth later. Collar went off injured.
Yeah, and Charlie confirmed, didn't he, after last night? It's looking push 10 weeks, which is a big. He's got a similar injury to Barry, I think.
That's what they were saying on commentary last night. Apparently, yeah, which is not good.
So it's starting to look a bit thin again, isn't it? Certainly the midfield.
It is.
Yeah.
At least we've got to have Bailey back after obviously he couldn't play last night. We definitely missed him, I feel, last night. I know we're not talking about that yet, but
but you're right, and it feels like we had this kind of situation earlier on in the season, didn't we? And Charlie was saying they're going to come back, and it's almost like one per week, if you like, to come back.
Yeah, and we got everybody back, and now it's starting to one every week.
It's almost like a repeat, isn't it? But it doesn't seem to be in defence or up top. On okay, Barry's out. Barry's out, but we knew about that anyway. It's that central midfield, isn't it? And we're struggling so much in that area.
Yeah, I suppose one positive with Collar being injured is if there was any rumours to Blackburn, like there is every transfer window, they're not going to sign him now, are they? So he'll stay with us.
Yeah.
Camps is out, isn't he? Or did he say? Did he come on last night? I can't remember the second half.
No. He said after last night. Then he Camps. He thinks Sunday will be too soon for him, but he might be in on Wednesday against Wigan. But he said there's a chance that Sars might be back for Sunday. Didn't he? So, and I know we're talking about the post-match from Salford, but it's injury news, isn't it? Injury news.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Park that for a second. Let's concentrate on Newport. Olafi scored late on, as you know. I think that was the 18th game we've scored in a row. Was it 18th? I think.
Something
like
that.
Saw that stat.
And because of the goal, it means that we still haven't lost by more than one goal since we played Grimsby. Was it last season they absolutely did us?
Yeah, 3-1 at home, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kept that intact as well. Not lost by more than one goal in the league anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I must admit it does feel weird sitting here talking about a defeat, and then we're going to talk about a draw in a minute.
Yeah, as you
just
say,
weird.
it was. I mean, again, listening to the fan that we had, the Newport fan on, he did nothing to quash that we thought it was going to be an easy game, did he?
Yeah.
With what he was saying about the injuries and stuff like that, and I think I mentioned it with you last night. It's when we was at the game. It's surprising how many teams have got. Well, pretty much every team has got loads of injuries, and I don't notice this every time we speak to any away fan, either on here or whatever. It's like, oh no, yeah, we've got 4 or 5 out, key players out. We've got to hobble this together, and again, we'll come on to the Salford, but they only had was it 8 fit players training this week.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's going on in the minute with so many teams, certainly League Two, having so many injuries. I don't understand what's been different this year, and I don't think it can't be just because we've been playing 7 or 8 minutes extra injury time.
No,
that doesn't say that it's going to be this many people injured, but it's just ridiculous. But it just seems every time you speak to anybody, it's got injuries, and we've done it, been through it ourselves, haven't we? And we look like again, we're back in it. So it's a strange one.
Fitness regimes, maybe, load training. I mean, all of ours seem to be impact, don't they? I know we had this discussion earlier on in the season when we had loads of injuries and people were questioning a certain fitness coach who's now moved on, and they're getting similar.
Yeah,
maybe that did add up in the end. Who knows? But you're right. It's weird. I don't. A lot of teams are having it. Is it just par for the course now with the loads that they put on players these days?
I don't know. It's because Charlie always goes on about data, and Simon Wilson always goes on about data, and a player says that he's fit, but they've got the data to say whether he's fit, and then they can work out how he's performing, and they adjust his training to, if he's getting overloaded, too much match time or anything, then they tend to bring it back on the training side. That's the impression that I've got on the things that he said previously and the things that Simon Wilson says. So I think there's more data and more technical side of things on it. So I don't, and maybe that's just because, as I say, we're set up for being a championship club, aren't we? The state of the art, or certainly for our level, state of the art training ground and everything like that, and all the data that we've got. So maybe that is why we're getting impact injuries and other teams aren't. But they're all full time. It's not as if there's any part-time players or anything in there, is there?
No.
It just, I can't put my finger on it, but it just seems strange that it seems that this season it is every single team.
Yeah,
it's got lots of injuries.
I mean, we'll might as well talk about it now, just while we're thinking. So Nick SCSC10 says it's not just midfield the squad is like. We only have 3 fit strikers. Need to forget about Barry as well, and if he does come back, then it's a bonus. We need 2 new strikers in January. Would you agree with that? That seems a bit heavy to me.
I don't think we need 2. You got people that can play up front. Powell can go up there if he's needed to. You got Tanto fit, Paddy, Kyle Wotton. The system they play, you don't need too many strikers. Last time I was on, sorry, we had a similar conversation. We can't just be bringing players in for when people are injured, because then you've got a stage where everybody's fit. You're wasting wages. Bring Lemonade Evans back in January. He can play there, can't he?
Yeah.
Bring him back off a loan spell. He'll have some great games and he'll still get dropped like last season. There's no point going splashing out. He's doing well at Wimbledon, so if you're desperate for somebody, do that. But I don't think we need 2. And Challoner would say, wouldn't he? He'll strengthen. He's always looking to strengthen, but only if we definitely need it and if it will improve the squad.
Yeah,
I think
they'll come back off a 12 winning run, and we've lost 1 and drawn, and now we need to sign 2 strikers again. It's come on.
Yeah, I think maybe if we get if they can find somebody as a permanent replacement for Barry, I think they might do that in January. And then if Barry comes back, it's a bonus having him, as a substitute or to come on and play. I don't think we'll get another lone striker in. For me, I think if we're going to look at somebody, we'll look at somebody permanently.
Yeah.
Do you think Bailey will be the permanent signing in Jan?
I hope
Because
so.
his loan runs out, doesn't
I
it?
think so. Yeah. Well,
But his
it's,
contract is up at the end of the season. So are we going to pay money for him now, or are we going to wait till someone to get him for free? He wants to stay, doesn't he?
I think that if he's available, if they'll let him go, I think we'll sign him for a nominal fee, whatever that. I don't know what that will be, but I don't think, because as you say, he's out in June anyway. So, and the only thing that we've got to hope is that their manager stays in place until that comes around. Because I think if the new manager comes in, he's getting recalled and he's going to be in the Salford squad.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Although he has publicly said, hasn't he, that he doesn't want to play for them anymore. So would the fans want him?
Yeah,
All 300 of them.
I was going to say, what fans?
316. Come on, jeez.
Claire Jeffs, just going back to Barry. Barry will remain with us when he's fit, which is, I think that's part of the loan deal, isn't it? So he's with us for the rest of the season. He probably wants to stay around, doesn't he? And be with the lads that that he's.
Yeah, he does. But he was in the courtyard, wasn't he? Last weekend. The weekend before against Colchester. So he's back with the club. He went back to Aston Villa, had his operation and stuff, and he's back with the club, and he's still around the club. And I think as and when he is back fit, he will stay, and he will stay till the end of the season. At least it sort of quashes a few of the rumours of everybody saying that he's going to get recalled if he carries on playing the way he is, which I never thought he would do anyway, because he's in a winning team, playing first team football and doing well. So
the only scenario where I obviously prior to his injury where I thought he would get recalled is if Villa got an offer from somewhere that they couldn't really refuse, or it was a good offer, for maybe a championship club or something like that. Okay. I don't think there was any way. I don't think there was any way he was going to get recalled to go into the Villa team. Although he's a really great player, I just don't think he's at that level. They're near the top of the Prem, aren't they? And they're doing really well.
Yeah, he's not going to be recalled to be in the Villa squad. He's not at that level yet, and he's not going to be there on the bench either. So he's going to go back into the reserves if he goes back to Villa. So why would he not? His best loan spell that he's had since he's been going out on loan and stuff like that. Why would he not stay with us?
Yeah. Ian Down says we need someone who can carry the ball. Well, that's Hinchliffe. So
I thought that was going to be.
We're not going to. Well, yeah.
But on that point, Odin Bailey's the best ball carrier we've had at the club for some time, I think. He reminds me
apart from Barry, you mean? Barry, he sticks to Barry in.
Yeah, it does stick with Barry. Well, who's with us now playing then?
Yeah. Fit and playing.
Lloyd,
yeah.
He's just he doesn't miscontrol the ball. It's quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, very rare any loose pass or anything either from him, is there?
Somebody's put a comment on, would Russ Waggy and Phil take Dan Kemp as a midfielder? My name's not Phil. It's never been Phil, and it won't be Phil. It's either Phil Bin or Dave. Thank you.
You can write that comment again, and we'll flash it up. Yeah, but Bailey though, I mean, it just goes to show, doesn't it? In the right environment, in a certain system, with the right people around you, you can flourish, and it just quashes that thing of, well, just go and get him, and just go and get this player, just go and get that player. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it seemed that way, didn't it? When he signed, it was on deadline day, and everybody sort of was like, "Why have we signed this fella? He can't even get in the squad for can't even get in the squad for Salford. What are we doing bringing him in? We don't need him, and this, that, and the other." But as you say, he's got a really good left foot, and he's slotted in, played really, really well. Looked like he's been playing in that position, playing for us for a long time.
Yeah. I've never seen this name before. Chadder's 81. Great year to be born. That one. I spoke to Barry and his dad in the 1883 at Colchester. They said it's up to Villa, but it'll either be with us or back at Villa. Right? Won't go to another club. There you go. So that's that quashed. So that to me says he's going to stick with us. I think, if my sums are right. So yeah, nice. Good.
Come and finish what he started at the end of the season.
Yeah, he is class though, isn't he? He's absolute class.
I will
Yeah,
never get
exactly.
used to every time he puts a post on Instagram, Jude Bellingham, the best player in the world, commenting on everything. It's mental.
Salford last night then. Let's talk about that. I mean, their keep. Did you see team of the midweek, by the way, today? Their keeper was in it. Matt Smith was in it. I don't know how Matt Smith got in it.
Well, I had a look on. I used that. I used SofaScore, and once I'd seen that, I had a look, and yeah, their keeper obviously. I think he was the best. He was their best player. He saved. He had 3 or 4 world class saves, didn't he? Really good saves.
Yeah.
And Matt Smith just won a lot of headers, but seemed to got a very high score. A very high rating, and he didn't do anything else apart from win headers. I don't see him do anything else. And he's another one of them that sort of like runs a bit like a T-Rex, doesn't he? He doesn't look natural as he's running.
The keeper was the best thing about him was his time wasting.
Oh yeah.
It's embarrassing.
From the first goal kick.
Yeah,
he was time wasting.
And the ref did that every single time. Didn't book him, and then he added 1 minute on.
I know, couldn't believe it.
That was
an absolute joke. The reaction to Nick Powell giving the ball away a few times last night from the top of the Chile line was an embarrassment as well. He showed why he was good last night. He was quality.
Yeah,
he was to get an hat trick. I think once he scores and gets a good running at games, we'll start seeing the best of him. But him and Paddy got a good little partnership.
Yeah, Paddy was great.
Together. He was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both. You could see that they were both a level above the. There was just like little balls that they were playing here and there and there, wasn't there? There was like the very short 2-minute highlights that was on YouTube. I don't know if you've watched that or not, but
no,
all the highlights. I think normally it's the League 2 one, isn't it? The EFL League 2, but I think it was Salford that posted it. It's just like 2 minutes of highlights, and yeah. Pretty much every highlight of us getting near goal or going for a shot or anything is Powell, and you just see him putting a ball here or putting a ball there or that type of stuff. I think there was a few loose passes from him last night, and I think people just concentrated on that.
Yeah,
that was the thing, because I think there's quite a lot, or certainly the majority of people, they don't seem to be keen on him.
But the thing is, there was a few loose passes that's just what I was about to say. There was a pass to Tanto, I think it was in the second half. It was a great ball through. Tanto didn't read it, so he didn't run for it. And then it was Powell's fault.
Yeah, but that's not a loose pass to me.
Exactly.
That's not a loose pass.
I agree.
There was the same I noticed it more in the second half, maybe because it was down the left, and that's what I'm in upper tier 1, so I can see right down that line. But Torre checked his run on a couple of occasions when, if he'd have just gone, I think Rydell would have probably have gone, actually. If he'd have just gone, Powell would have found him.
Yeah.
So there were 1 or 2 loose passes, and he lost.
Yeah,
everybody
looked
does.
A lot better, didn't he? He sort of dropped into that number 10 role, didn't he? And he was coming looking for the ball a lot more.
It was everywhere.
As soon as he did that, it was like, wow. I mean, that cross in that Paddy should have headed in, that the keeper again got down and saved it. And pretty much right behind the goal, and I was up. I was like, that's a goal. And suddenly it's like, where did that keeper's hand come from to claw it around the corner?
Yeah. And you get these every now and again where the keeper has an absolute worldie, don't you? And they keep him in it. Charlie was pretty critical again, wasn't he? He said it's definitely 2 points lost, which I can see. I totally agree with him. And we had most of the ball, most of the possession, and I've not looked at the stats yet, but I'm guessing they're in our favour again.
I think 64% in the first half and 68% in the second half.
Right. So yeah, obviously got the ball. It's just yesterday is it clinicalness? I don't know what it is. Efficiency of shooting, being more clinical. That just evaded us, and it did do it against Newport as well. And that's what got us through the games, sort of prior to that. In the 12-game run, being more clinical. But if a keeper's having a good day, I mean, what can you do?
Yeah,
you just got to keep it. But he said keeper had a good day. There was a couple that they cleared off the line, at the bar and stuff like that. So it was just, it was unfortunately just one of them days. Because as I say, I think as soon as the first team to score, or the first team that had scored last night, if they had, it'd have been completely different. If they'd have scored it, it'd have been 10 times worse than it was watching them.
Yeah.
It would have been awful. And then if we'd have scored, then there was no way that we were only going to get one type of thing, was it? But unfortunately, the tactics, they came with a plan of wasting time, getting away with what they can, frustrating us, breaking the play up. They just they did what they were supposed to do. But I think we played a bit too slow. We didn't really sort of try and turn them whenever the ball went back to Hinchliffe or from goal kicks. Every time it was out to Horsfall and then it'd go across the pie, or it'd go to South of Males, then it'd come back to Horsfall. There was never to me, it didn't seem as if we were trying to be quick enough to try and, break them down or turn them and get them on the break. Because especially first half with Noyle, you can see I thought that we'd sort of pretty much set up as almost like a 4-2-2-2 initially, with Noyle and Crowsdale sat in front of the back four. And then as soon as the ball came out, Fraser brought it, and you could see Noyle went straight out to the right wing, and then South of Males further down. And you could see it was like, if we get the ball straight away, or if Hinchliffe gets that to Noyle, and then, we're away and we can get South of Males away as well and get that on. And it just seemed to be a bit too slow from that side of things. And we repeatedly tried to do it that way. Certainly when Noyle's on the pitch, we always seem to try and go down the right-hand side. Whereas, as you say, we didn't seem to be balanced where we were going down the left.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything down the left seemed to come from Powell, didn't it? He was on.
Yeah.
I mean, he was all over the place. Powell. He was down the left. He was in that. I hate to say it. I don't really know how to say it. It's almost like that quarterback role, that central defensive midfielder role. He was doing that as well, and he was up front a bit. He was just all over the place. There was a few standout players for me last night. South of Males, obviously, because he's just been 7 or 8 out of 10 all season. It's been fantastic. Yep. Madden and Powell were the other two that stood out for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
Someone said it in the comments as well, but I must say, I messaged Russ after the game last night to say exactly that. I think Maka is in contention for the player of the season so far. If the season ended tomorrow, he'd be up there with the player of the season for us. I think as well, if you weigh in the expectation that we all probably had of him, not to say that he was a bad player, but like we said before, I didn't think he was going to get in over Noyle. So to now come over that and being as good as he is, I think.
And I think as well, like beginning of last season and stuff, when he was playing, he didn't look as fast as he did in the National League, did he?
It was like a cheat code in the National League when he's like,
it was like a cheat code in the book. It was just like knock the ball forward and just let him go. Whereas it seemed at the beginning of last season that there seemed to be a lot pacier, the wing backs and the right backs and stuff that they were playing against, and he never seemed to be able to get past them. Whereas now, again, he looks to have that speed back, doesn't he? Or he looks to be faster than he was.
Yeah, he does. Nick here says, never play well when we lose a toss and kick towards the railway end second half. Now, it does my head in, and I hate it. I prefer kicking towards the Cheadle in the second half. But that's a myth, that, isn't it? Is that a myth?
Colchester, we won 2-0 and we shot towards Cheadle in first half.
Yeah.
Quashed in 10 seconds.
Yeah, I just think it does my head in. It really does, and we all moan around where I'm sat that it happens.
Of course, yeah, because you want to see that. You want to see him kicking towards the Cheadle end in the second half.
Especially in a night game. There's nothing better for me in football as a county fan than seeing us in a night game shooting this way the second half. Bolton at home, probably one of the favourite ones.
Yeah. You see, I'm a 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. I prefer that, me.
But I mean, from looking out, seeing the darkness, seeing Vitality sign in the background.
No, you're right. It is beautiful. Can't wait till it's all built up. Can you imagine when it's all built up as well, and we're in the Championship?
Yeah,
it's be amazing. You're getting a telling off, Waggy. It's not Hinchcliffe.
Did I say Hinchcliffe? I do apologise. I don't normally, so.
Salford. That's Salford last night. Then, 4 points. 1 point out of 4 in the last 2.
Out of 6.
1 point out of 6. Yeah.
Sorry, what am I talking about? I don't know. Yeah, 1 point out of 6 out of the last 2.
I said
Yeah.
the other good thing from last night was, again, the majority of the results went with us, went for us and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's
still
like Saturday.
sat-
It's
Yeah.
frustrating that though,
Yeah.
isn't it? We could be sat here now,
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
10
we
points
could
clear.
be. Yeah,
And I know, look, we're moaning. Well, sorry, I am moaning that we're top of the league by 5 points, and I'm not. But it just could be, it could be a lot better. But hey, if we win the league by 1 goal, I'm not bothered as long as we do
Mate,
it.
right. Today is the anniversary that we lost 7-0 to Grimsby in 2012, I want to say.
you're giving him hints to look up before
Is he
the
gonna?
quiz.
I don't know. Is that what you're doing? You're looking it up.
Watch the reflection in his glasses. Let's see if he pulls any different
See you,
websites.
see you and me wagging glasses. You've just touched upon my getting the reses, but I will not spoil it.
Okay, let's not spoil that. We'll keep that for later. But yeah, Phil Lloyd says 6 above 4th, and that's the key, isn't it? We're
Yes.
not trying to outrun 2nd. We're trying to outrun 4th. That's the main thing here. And yeah, that 7-0 defeat was the social loafers, I think. Well done, Daz. All this stuff keeps on popping up on my timeline now of all this, on this day and that. Oh mate, it's horrific, isn't it? So yeah, that's Salford. Anything more about Salford and Newport before we move on to Aldershot on Sunday, sorry.
Last time I came on, we just drawn against
Crawley.
And then they said we were going to win the next 3, and we won the next 12. Now we've drawn again. We're going to win the next 3. It'll be typical County if we win the next 3, was what I said.
Is that the next 3 games or the next 3 league games?
Next 3 league games.
Next 3
games.
league games.
We'll win the next 5, though, because we'll beat Wigan and Aldershot, so we'll win 5.
Yeah, and just while we're on the reminiscing nostalgia bit, 26 years since we beat City 3-1, which was our original title music, but we've changed it to the Paddy Madden goal that got us up. We do need to change it and do something different. I'm aware of that. That was a great game. And that's the famous commentary. I've waited all my life for that. Isn't it? There we go. Richard Harnwell. Legend. So, Aldershot on Saturday. Nervous? What's the? Sorry, Sunday. I'll just say it's Saturday. If I say Saturday, it's Sunday. Let's go with that.
Weekend.
Nervous, or what do you think? Well, he said it's going to be not a key game, but I think he's alluded to that he's not going to play a weakened team. That will be for the Wigan match, the rotation.
Yeah, he's going to play a fairly strong team, didn't he? And then change it around for Wigan.
Yeah.
I mean, say it's difficult. I mean, if you go off their last round, they were absolutely awesome against Swindon, weren't they? And the 7-4 absolutely, it doesn't give it justice, because they were 60, 65 minutes, they were 7-0 up, and then they took 5 of the best players off.
Yeah.
And then Swindon brought the big guns on or changed theirs around, and they scored 4. So again, I don't know.
I feel like they've had their upset. They've had the massive day in the cup this year. Obviously, 7-4, brilliant. We could play our reserves and we should beat them, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
For me, I'm not going. I went in the National League to Aldershot and I vowed never to return. So I'm a man of my word. But yeah, we should go and beat them. No disrespect to them. And then big one, 3rd round. Let's get in that draw. There's nothing. I love the 3rd round draw until we come out with fucking Barrow away.
Yeah, Walsall. That was the Walsall. Yeah, so disappointing, wasn't it?
Even more so when Madden scored the equaliser, that absolute scream after just coming off the bench, and then we lost anyway with that penalty. But no, we'll do it. I'm not nervous at all. The only thing I'm nervous about is if I'll be able to watch it or not.
Yeah, we were talking about
officially
night,
probably not.
Yeah,
it's got to be on. Yeah, because that's why it's been changed to 2 o'clock on a Sunday, isn't it? Because we've got extended highlights for the BBC.
Yeah,
but
it'll be available somewhere. I'm sure.
Still can't actually watch it live as such officially.
Watch it through my neighbour's window, as they say.
So they're not
Do a
doing
lot
too
of
bad.
that.
They're not doing too bad, Aldershot. They are sixth in the National League, which is not to be sniffed at. Obviously, we know all about the National League. Obviously beat Swindon 7-4 away. They've won 4 out of the last 5. Yeah, they're doing pretty well. I don't know
Yeah,
any
but we're
players.
top of League 2, and we've won 12 of our last 14.
Yeah,
We're
no,
gonna
I
win.
know that. I know all that. Yeah, obviously. I'm just trying to put some perspective on it, which you're not letting me do.
I don't know. I think the only thing is how good is their ground? How good is the pitch? If the pitch is,
You mean the pitch?
The pitch, yeah. It was
Right.
obviously the ground shit, but if the pitch, that's what I meant. The pitch. If the pitch is like a typical early December pitch that's all dug up and everything like that, I don't know if they have anybody else ground sharing or anything with them. I think that's probably the only thing that would hinder us as such.
Maybe. Yeah, you mean because we won't be able to play our normal game kind of thing.
Yeah, we won't be able to play it properly along the floor if it's all torn up and stuff. It's all bobbling everywhere and that type of thing. I think that's the only thing that probably would go against us. But as you say, yeah, again, on paper, it's all good. But again, it's the cup. They'll be well up for it because they're playing top of League 2. They've already put a League 2 team out. So, they've got all the motivation they need, haven't they? We've got to make sure that we go there and be professional. And if we go there and be professional, then we should beat them. And again, especially if he's putting a strong squad out, putting a strong side out, then we shouldn't have any problems.
Yeah. Just looking at their squad. So, I mean, let's start with the manager, Tommy Witherington. Remember him playing for Grimsby in the late 90s? No, it's Kai Witherington's dad off Strictly. If you watch Strictly,
no,
those who watch that, no,
Definitely not.
No.
Okay, I love Strictly Me, love it. And the only players that I can recognise is Kwame Thomas. I remember him. I don't know who he played for at the time, but I remember him. We've come across him before, pretty sure. And I think that is it. That's the only player I can recognise from their team, which isn't saying much because I'll openly admit, and I've said it throughout our non-league days, I didn't give a shit who we were playing in non-league. I just expected us to win, and I wanted to get out of non-league as fast as possible. Yeah, it was great while we were down there drinking beer at the side of the pitch, but Swindon away is where it's at, isn't it? So yeah. Okay, so yeah, confident score predictions then. Let's do that. Seeing as though we haven't got an Oppo review, how many do you think we'll take?
316.
Okay.
I was going to say 500.
Okay.
And we're going to win 4-1. We'll go 1-0 down early doors, and then we'll 4-1 it.
Go 1-0 down early doors. Everyone blames Powell, and then he comes back with a quad trick.
You're right. That's exactly what's going to happen, and then he'll be the best thing ever. Then again.
Yeah. Oh, just one last word on Powell though. He did look spent, didn't he, last night? I say run himself into the ground. He doesn't really do. He's not that kind of player, is he? But he was absolutely blowing out of his arsehole, wasn't he?
Yeah.
At the end.
Also, people say he's lazy. He's not. I think he's just clever. If he sees the ball and he's never going to get to it, he thinks, I'm not running for that. And why would you?
Yeah.
I just think because he's played higher up, it's slower, isn't it? The game really, the higher up you go, and he just reads.
Yeah.
He's reading the game when he's stood there or jogging. He's reading the game and what's going to happen next. So people read into
As
things.
As I said, he strikes me as like I say a Berbatov or a Letitia. They tend to look lazy because they know how to read the game and they know what to do and where to do it. As you say, he doesn't need to start, running at players, trying to take 4 or 5 players on when he can just dink a ball past all of them and have somebody else that hopefully will be on the same wavelength and understands what he's going to do, what he can do, and what he is going to do.
His levels, isn't it? I remember the famous one is that Maldini's tackling statistics, Paolo Maldini's tackling statistics were very low. And that's because he didn't need to tackle.
Yeah.
He was in the right place at the right time. He ushered people out, took people onto the wrong foot and all that kind of stuff. And he was probably one of the best defenders the world has ever seen, isn't he? So I'm not saying Powell is one of the best midfielders the world's ever seen, but at a certain level, you get the idea. Pete Cormack, FA Cup, going back to that, says we need to get to the third round. Money talks, and a big tie in the next round will do nicely. Yeah, don't think it will do any harm. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I want Everton away. In the third round.
Yeah, you keep saying that. Yeah.
Well, it's the last. I've never been to Goodison, and it's the last season that they're going to be at Goodison.
Yeah,
You know what's under 21s.
I know. Well, I didn't know about. I didn't know until I came home, and all the lights were on at Everton, and I was like, "What fixtures that?" And it was like, "Oh yeah, England under 21s are playing there." I was like, "Oh."
County under 21s are going to play there against under 21s in the FA Youth Cup.
Are they?
Not Goodison though, is it?
Yeah, the rule is they have to play the Youth Cup games at the home ground.
Are you sure about that?
I thought I'd seen it that we were playing somewhere else. I didn't think we were playing.
No, we
But
played
anyway,
somebody to win, and we beat them.
I live about half a mile away from Everton's ground, so I can literally walk there. And that's the only opportunity that I'm going to get to go and watch them at Goodison, because obviously my missus is a Liverpool fan, so she's not going to come and watch a match with me. And I'm not going sitting in the stadium on my own.
You do it, County. What's up with you?
No, not with this accent. It's bad enough going to the corner shop.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. By the way,
no,
we've
let's
got
not.
Aldershot on Sunday, 2:00. So if let's hope we're having this conversation next week about the FA Cup third round, which the draw is probably going to be done by then anyway. I think. Is it usually Monday night? Is it usually?
It's normally the last fixture on a Sunday, isn't it? Don't they normally do it?
I thought they did it before the kickoff on the Monday game.
Oh, okay.
Because they have the managers in, don't they, of the small teams that have won, and then they say, "Oh, who'd you fancy in the next round?" in some con club.
Yeah,
and they've got all the managers in with all the fans with the half and half scarves on.
But I love that, me. Not the half and half scarf.
I love it as well.
Yeah. I do love that.
Your goalkeeper, it was plumbing, wasn't it, till 7:30 on the kickoff game? And then he saved the penalties for you to go through.
And your centre back went and fixed the floodlights because he didn't start.
Oh, nearly alluded to my getting the reses then. Oh, tell you what, it's close. Right, let me just play this interlude, then we'll talk about injuries, and then we'll get on to getting reses and maybe fit in that little quiz that we've got. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. And for the audio podcast, please rate, review, and recommend us on whatever podcast player you are listening to us on. Cheers, thank you. So injuries then, we spoke a lot about the injuries. We sort of flitted about. Do we actually know? I know we've not got an official list. There never is one. And, there's not like a table with Sarcevic 4 weeks. Barry 3 months. It's not Football Manager. But do we know exactly who is out? So let's start with ones we know. Barry, he's not going to be back till March time, I think, was it? Something like that.
March.
Sars wanted to be back for. He said the
Aldershot.
FA Cup game, didn't he?
Yeah, he said Aldershot. He wanted to be back for Aldershot.
But Charlie said that was pushing it a bit. So
no, he said there's a possibility of Sars being back for Sunday. It was camps that he said Sunday comes too soon.
Oh, right.
So yes, if Sars a week. If I don't, I think if Sars doesn't play on Sunday, I think he definitely plays on Wednesday.
Yeah. For
me, I think so. He's a week away, if that. Then camps, and again he's a week, maybe 10 days away. So that I think that'd be a massive boost, certainly for the midfield, won't it? If we can get them both back in.
Yeah, get them two back in with Crowsdale. Get that three going
Bailey.
again.
Yeah,
Bailey. Yeah, of course. So it's not long, is it? If it feels like looking at Twitter and what have you, there's a bit. Oh, we've got loads of these ones out. Probably by next week they're starting to trickle back in, aren't they?
Yeah. I think luckily with Sars and camps, Camp's has hurt his shoulder, but it's his opposite shoulder, not the one he's had all the problems with, isn't it? So, in a way, that's a good thing that it's not as bad as I think if it had been his same shoulder that he's had problems with, he'd have been out for 2-3 months. But fortunately, he's all right. He should be back in, and they say SARS isn't as bad as it's first thought, so he should be back in, and then midfield doesn't look too bad then, does it?
No. So who have we missed? So Phil Lloyd's give us a nice list here.
Yeah, Rydell, Stratton.
What is it?
What? It's not that, but it's nearly 11 there.
No, well, you can write Stratton and Rydell off because they were already out. Hippo,
yeah, Barry as well to a certain extent, can't you?
Yeah, it's just because we've had two or three in the last 2 weeks that it feels like there's loads more injured out. But when you see it written down, you think the midfield is goosed. You've got 2 starters are in there, but from the other ones that we said are coming back, like you just said, we'll be all right.
Yeah, so if we're getting Sars and Camps back in the next week, 10 days, 14 days, that's pretty positive, isn't it? Because that'll bolster what we've already got. And to be fair, Paddy did a job last night coming back to Paddy.
Brilliant.
Yeah. But I think he has, because he's not generally Paddy's not been coming on and playing as a striker, as he's come on, he's replaced Sars a couple of times, hasn't he? And then played in that role just behind him. And to say his first touch and his vision he's still one of the best in the club, so he can still play. He can still, all these people writing him off again towards the beginning of the season. If he's not playing as a striker, he's got the mind, the footballing brain and stuff to be able to play just behind and contribute to the game still.
Yeah.
I hope he does get a good run in the team now. He's a big reason why we're back in the Football League in the first place. And last season he was good as well. I want him to get a good run, get a few goals, and shush the naysayers about him.
Yeah, it's a weird one though, isn't it? Because against Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, that goal was an absolute pearl, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I know. I can see why he's dropped out. I can definitely see that, but for me, he's worth his weight in gold. I really do like him.
You can understand when you win 12 in a row, you know.
Yeah.
And he said it in his interview, I think, after the FA Cup game, was it? He said, I've got no right to go knock on the manager's door because they're winning every week.
Yeah. That's a professional, that, isn't it?
Yeah, and a captain.
And then he came on against Salford in the AFL and bagged a hat-trick.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. What a guy. Anthony M says, what's happening with Miles Hippo? He's the only one we've not spoke about from that injury list.
He did the same to his other leg, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly the same thing to his other knee, isn't it, that he did at the beginning of the season. So they reckon he said again, I think that's 3 months. I think he's similar time to Barry or something like that. So really, that's unlucky, that, isn't it? I mean, you can't do anything about that. Your left knee out for 3 months, come back, play 2 or 3 games, and then do your right knee in exactly the same way. That's really unlucky.
Yeah.
But I think that the good thing is that Bailey has sort of slotted into that Hippo role, hasn't he? He can play. He can play anywhere down the left hand side, really, can't he? I think Bailey he can put, because we did when we changed to a back 3 and he put him as a wing back, looked all right in that position.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it's better because Hippolyte's not on, because I can't tell the difference when they're both on the pitch. They've got very similar haircuts and similar build and stuff like that. So
similar demeanours, haven't they? Yeah,
both left-footed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just on Sars as well. When he got his injury away at Swindon. When he went down for that, we were in line with it. I must admit, I thought he dived to try and get the penalty, and then has gone over on his arm. And I thought, because I was lambasting him first, not like massively. I wasn't like having a right go. I was just going, oh, don't dive. No, don't dive in the area like that. Win a penalty properly. But then he's like got up and he felt like he dived and then was complaining that he was injured. Like Bruno Fernandes does, like proper shit house. But he wasn't. So I'm glad he wasn't doing that. He was really hurt. So I'm almost glad he's injured.
Glad he's injured.
He would have gone down unless he's really.
He's probably the first and only County fan that's ever going to say that.
But you know what I mean, don't you? I like my players to have integrity, which he does because he was injured. So that's what I mean by that.
That's probably a better way of saying it.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's everybody we've covered. I mean, there's no point in covering Stretton, is there? I mean, we know he's out for the season. Same with Rydell as well. So that's it. And so the positive news is they are trickling back, and they will do. They will do, and it's not like they're all out long term, which is I guess a positive. And then we'll probably bolster in January, I would think, in certain areas.
Yeah, I think so. I'd say it just compounded the issue that Bailey couldn't play last night, wasn't it? I think that's what made it, because you forget, obviously it's only one game that he can't play because it's against his parent club. But I think the players that were out from the midfield, everyone was thinking, oh Jesus, here we go. And again, I think the difference is looking at the bench. You go back 2-3 weeks. 2-3 weeks ago, and the bench was like, wow, any one of those players are pretty much getting any League Two team, and every one of them could come on and change a game for us. Whereas you look at the bench last night, and we sort of said it once the team news come out, when we've seen the subs, there was not really anybody there that you thought could come on and actually properly change the game for us or give us a different dimension. And I think Challoner alluded that to, didn't he, in his post-match, when he sort of said, we put players in that could play in multiple positions so that we could change the system rather than the players.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't have not necessarily didn't have faith in his substitutes, but he knew that they wouldn't have the same impression on the game as we've had previously.
Yeah. Dave, what have you made of Charlie's seemingly plan B, C, D, E, and F? And do you think he's making the right subs at the right times now? There's a lot of questions about that, wasn't there?
Yeah. Especially because, there's been times where we've had every week you're saying, oh, it's the best bench we've had in ages, this. And it didn't seem to have been being used. But yeah, I think he's got a lot more savvy with his subs. And then last night, like you just said, he didn't really have any attacking options to bring anybody in. But yeah, I think he's got much better at it. But no one he'll never please everybody.
No.
But a 12-game winning run suggests that he has got everything, most things right. Yeah,
absolutely. I noticed they only had 5 subs as well. Just going back to Salford, and they had 8 seniors fit, like you said before, Waggy, and then I don't know, probably two or three youth players, and then a bench with 5 on it. So I don't see that in the EFL.
They've obviously got an under-21 side. Just put some of them on the bench. You don't have to bring them on, but give them that experience of being involved in a first team match day. It's got to do them good, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Even didn't
you must be able to have
enough less on the bench
players.
against Liverpool.
One at a time, boys. One at a time.
Sorry, go on, Phil.
Fuck off! Didn't City have only not the full amount of subs on the bench at the weekend against Liverpool of all teams?
Really?
I think so. Let me check.
Oh, you're going to check now?
Yeah, possibly.
But possibly. This is where, I mean, it's door closes for one player, a door opens for another. And I think wasn't this how Rashford got his debut for United under Van Gaal or something? They were just down to the bare bones, and they had to put him in, and he scored a hat-trick against Arsenal or something.
Right.
You just don't know what you're subs rather than 9.
Right. Because you have to register so many players, don't you? And I think it's the same in the EFL.
Yeah.
The keeper you can get an emergency loan for. I think I don't know the full rules.
If you've not got any keepers, you can get an emergency loan for them. But and again, going off what I know from Football Manager is that your goalkeepers don't have to be registered.
No.
And it's under 21s under 21s don't have to be registered either. So
that's right.
As you say, if you've got an under 21 squad, an under 21 team that are playing, in a league, then you've got 11 players, or you've got 18 players that you can go and stick on the bench. You must have enough, as you say. And that's, even if they're not ready for the first team, as you say, get them on that bench.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why they didn't. That's a good point. It's a really good point. Yeah. A weird one. Okay, running on for an hour now. Should we do getting reses and then maybe a very quick quiz? Let's do it.
Reses. Getting the reses. Get in the reses.
I'm not having that.
Get in the reses.
Oh, getting reses.
So this getting reses is getting traction. We're getting people telling us they're getting the reses during the week, which is great. Waggy, do you want to go first?
I don't know if I've mentioned this before or not, but I think we sort of said it against Salford. It was the time wasting that they were doing, and this new rule of adding all this time on to the end of the half. And we had 1 minute in the first half. He put 2 players in the second half. We had 6 or 7 substitutes, and he played 3 minutes. You know, that's just absolute shite. There should have been like 5 or 6 minutes at least for both halves. So, and that's the new rule that they bring in. But there's no consistency with it, is there? And there's no consistency with getting booked for time wasting. They seem to be right on it in the beginning of the season for the first 3 or 4 weeks, and now it's just gone. You can do it and do it and do it, and then eventually he'll start tapping his watch and only had a minute on. So that can get in the reses, as well as Salford.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think we're all agreed. We're all agreed that can get in the reses. Dave, what about you?
So mine is after we've lost the game or not performed well, and you speak about it on Twitter or on any social media website, and there's some people who pipe up and they go, "Oh well, 10 years ago we were playing away at Vauxhall Motors. Look how far we've come." I know we were playing there because I went, but it doesn't mean now that we're back in the Football League and we're top. It doesn't mean that we're not allowed to have an opinion that somebody might not be playing as well or the game didn't go as well. You know, how long's that going to last for? Do we get to the Championship in the next 3 years and then we go, oh, we got beat off Carlisle in the playoff final League 2. We've had worse times. You're like, shut up, mate. And people are allowed to give their opinions, and we also are allowed to, you know, we know where we've been. We sat through it for 10 years. We know exactly where we've been. But yeah, that's what I'm putting in there as those people.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I think Waggy, we're both agreed that can get in the reses. What else? What I'll say in sort of defense of it slightly, and it's only very slightly, is it's not. I don't think it's something you can use. This is my opinion, by the way. I don't think it's something you can use after you've been beat, and it's not so bad. You know, we got beat 7-0 by Grimsby. What I often like to do is like, look how far we've come, and look, 11 years ago we got beat 7-0 by Grimsby. Could you imagine that now? And look at what we're top of the League One now, League Two, sorry. And I just like to appreciate what we've got now compared to what we. It's nice to reminisce, isn't it, and look back at Colwyn Bay away and things like that.
It's the way that the way you said it.
No, it's the delivery, isn't it?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
It's not how the ball's thrown; it's how it's caught, and that's what that is. That's what we use in. That's what I use in work for my team members when we put balls together. Just remember, it's how the ball is caught.
Yeah,
They must think, "Shut up, you tosser."
Was that on LinkedIn Learning or something like that?
It was on philosophers.com.
Yeah. Mine this week is FA Cup season is upon us, and it's what you alluded to before, Waggy, and it's commentators not just mentioning the trade that the non-league players do on the side. It's the way it's almost like a pat on the head.
Yeah,
it's like a patronizing.
Condescending, isn't it?
Yeah. And he was up at 5 o'clock this morning. It's like, yeah, well, that's his job. I mean, he works hard for it. Don't patronize him. Jesus. But they've probably got a list of all the jobs that they do, haven't they? You know, and the
of course. Yeah, definitely. Like that's the only research that they do.
And then the co-commentator, normally Dion Dublin, pretends to know everything there is to know about the National League North.
Yes.
And the club's form and who's doing well for them. You've not got a clue, mate. Let's not pretend.
No. It reminds me, when you see these documentaries of, I don't know, live talk shows gone bad, and then you'll get a celebrity from today who'd probably never seen it as it happened, but they just sit there and go, and then this person was asking questions and they fell off the chair. It's like, yeah, but you're only saying it because you've been asked to do it. It's like that, isn't it, with Dion Dublin? It's just it's like sweeping statements. They don't actually know what they're talking about. But yeah, the commentators that do that does my head in. It annoyed me more when we were in non-league, but it annoyed me before that. It annoys me now.
Oh yeah, obviously. Ben Hinchliffe. He used to get it all the time.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Jordan Keane was the best, and he was a dog walker.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah. Trying to think of some of the others. Oh, Danny Lloyd got a mention in the Athletic article, didn't he, as selling bins or something?
Yeah, Biffa
he worked for
bins.
Biffa, basically. He didn't. I don't think he sold bins. I'm not really sure about that, but he did tell us on the podcast that he came on one time, but can't remember what it was. But anyway, yeah, that's my getting the reses. So yeah, are we having that?
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff. Right. Very, very quickly, let's do. I've not given it a name yet. Do you want to be pitched against each other, or to see how far we go?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Are you sure, Waggy?
Nope.
Right. Let me just get this up then. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you choice of years that we played on this day today, 29th of November, and you have got. I'm going to do a minute. Phil Lloyd had 2 minutes. Should we do a minute? Let's do a minute. You sure don't want to play, Waggy?
Positive.
Okay. Right. So
Just because I beat you, I want to keep just me 100% record because I beat you last week.
right. So Phil Lloyd is winning with 1. He scored 1 from a game that he guessed the lineup. So all you got to do is guess as many players as you can from the lineup. Your choices are 2008 against Gillingham, the 7-0 loss against Grimsby, the 2-1 win in the FA Trophy against Colwyn Bay. 2014. Grimsby was 2011. The 3-0 win in the FA Trophy in 2017 against Southport. Or the FA Cup 3-2 win against Yeovil in 2020. No cheating, by the way. You can't. Don't
2008. We're going to go to 2008 versus Gillingham.
Right. 0-0 draw. FA Cup second round at the Priestfield. Okay, let me get my timer ready. Don't be putting anything in the chat, please, because you can see the comments.
Oh, did you say it was the FA Cup? That might change things, but let's go for it anyway.
I don't think we rotated much.
No, we didn't have enough players to rotate, did we?
No. 1 minute. Your timer starts now.
Carl Baker.
No.
Do we
Bench.
keep going?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
on the
Just
bench.
keep on
Oh, he's
going.
on the bench. That's all right. Pistol Pete Thompson.
No.
We're having a
On
stinker.
the bench.
Oh.
We
Greg
did
Tansey.
rotate.
Danny Rowe.
No.
This is ridiculous.
No.
By the way.
No.
What do you mean? No. Adam
on.
Griffin.
No.
Matty Mainwaring.
No.
These are all players in this team. I can't believe it. Hey, Matt McNeil. Dominic Blizzard. Michael Rains.
Dominic Blizzard. Matty McNeil. 2. You're already winning, by the way.
David Poole.
Right. Time's up.
Was David Poole one?
No.
So we've topped
Okay.
the leaderboard.
So you're top of the leaderboard with 2. Okay. It's not easy, is it? It's not easy.
No, I can't believe you don't get points for benches either, because I would have got 3 more.
No, you would have done. Yeah. So I don't think you've named these. I'm shit at this, by the way. I'll probably name one. And you'll go, I named him.
Oh, well,
anyway,
don't you worry.
Anyway, winning. gets a
Maybe
prize
I
in
should
the
get
game,
this up
by the
and double check as you're doing it as well.
So we'll get fan guests on and we'll hand out a prize. So in net, Owen Von Williams, Leon McSweeney, Jim McNulty,
Oh, my God.
Johnny Mullins, James Tunnicliffe, Jason Taylor,
Oh,
Anthony
I can't believe it.
Pilkington, Stephen Gleeson, Craig Davies, Matty McNeil, Don Blizzard.
I'm really disappointed with that.
Do you want to hear the bench just for closure?
Yeah.
Lloyd Rigby, keeper.
I've got his training shirt upstairs.
Have you? Nice.
Yeah.
Michael Rose, Paul Turnbull,
Oh.
Carl Baker, Gary Dicker, Tommy Rowe, Peter Thompson. Imagine having, right, I'm not joking. Imagine having Michael Rose, Turnbull, Baker, Dicker, Tommy Rowe, and Peter Thompson on the bench.
I know.
That's some bench, that, isn't it?
Maybe we did rotate.
Yeah, maybe we did.
Well, I don't know, because Craig Davis and Matty McNeil were good, weren't they? You know, they're all good. This was the team that got promoted, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so most of them were.
Yeah, from the previous season,
From
from the
2008
previous
season,
summer. Yeah. Excellent. So you've got
Because
two.
I couldn't remember. I was trying to remember if we sold people, but that was at the end of that season, wasn't it?
Yes. So at the end of that season, I remember going to the Withdean Stadium. Was it Brighton? We'd had 10 points deducted just at that point. I think they needed a point or a win to stay up. They beat us 1-0 and ended up leapfrogging us. We were near the bottom and they were halfway up the table. And then that was the start of the next big decline, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Phil Lloyd has got one.
Phil Dupin's got two.
Still got the silver.
Pretty hard, isn't it? We tried it last week, didn't we, Waggy, when Nick was here? I fell at the first hurdle. Couldn't do it.
And I just guessed.
You just guessed and got one right. Yeah, well done. Right, cool. Thanks for your time, chaps. Really appreciate it coming on the podcast. Just a reminder to everybody, please do rate and review us on whatever podcast player you are listening to us on, and please do like this video. I forgot to mention that earlier. Please do like it and get those likes up, and that would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Have you had a good time,
Piss off
guys?
Phil Lloyd, by the way. Phil's 1 and 2 in the league. Can't believe it.
I don't know.
Brilliant.
Good stuff. Right.
We need to
And on that note,
get another Phil on as a guest next week. Then we could have Phil 1, 2, 3.
oh dear, never going to live that down, are you? Right.
No, I shouldn't have
Cheers,
said it.
boys.
Nice
Speak to
one.
you soon. See you later. Bye now.
Bye.
This episode of the Scarf McGower War was written, recorded and produced by Russ Johnson and Nick Lee. The music on the opening titles was produced by Dan Johnson. Subscribe wherever you get your content, as well as finding out how to join the TSBW fan club. Check out the links in the description or go to allthews scarfmcgowerwar.co.uk.